right, everybody. This is the very first episode of Getting oh, shit. Getting Over. I am Kenny Camino Jr. I am a cruiserweight extraordinaire. I am a gold sharing wearing person, and I got these at the mall for $20. But don't judge me. And I'm sitting right next to
Duke.
yeah. So today we are going to talk about Tony Duke went so far as to make this list of things we need to talk about. Uh, so we're going to talk about a couple of these things, and we'll talk about them at length. So pretty much the whole premise of this is to understand why in wrestling things are the way they are, and how you could possibly change them for the better. We have over 25 years of wrestling experience. Would you say? Would that be accurate? 25 years of wrestling experience. So that means, all in all, you weren't supposed to see that. So that means, all in all, 50 years of wrestling experience. So we are going to
do that. It's vanilla flavor.
So 25 years, 50 years between us. So then we're going to talk and we're going to act like we know what to do, because we do know what to do, and that's why we're doing this freaking show.
Right.
So just shut up and watch it. And I got this championship belt on. I got my Bullet Cup t-shirt. I got my gold chains on. I got the gold accents, all in my Lucha Libre mask. So cold shit is about to be said, and that's all you guys need to know.
So you know he's paying attention.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because Way said so. So first question is, this is going to be directed to all you marks out there. Okay, Tony, this is one that I have a lot of issues with. I'm not even going to lie. And I'm the type of person that tries to use, and these pants are like way too tight. Hold on. I had to do that one time. See, the funny thing about having a belt on, and I feel like having like your penis so close to like,
well,
so
that's
to, like metal.
That's your belt now.
You know what I'm saying? To have this so close, it makes you feel automatically sexy. I think that's why Big E just feels the need to, and like me and him are almost like built the same. So it's something about having meat in next to like gold or whatever. It makes you want to go ahead and go. I'm not looking over there. So anyway, so basically what we're going to say, the first question is, so are the marks becoming way too smart? And the basis of that question is that WWE is entering the internet age, or the age of the internet, which means the age of way too much freaking information. Everybody thinks they know what they're talking about because they can look it up online. So therefore, couple that with what they saw as a child, they think they know what professional wrestling should be. And it's ironic that we're doing that because that's what this show is based off of. But just because I know what I'm talking about doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. So we're going to ask you why you think the way you think. That's the whole premise of this question. So, because a lot of people say, well, hey, this is like this because, and then there's a blank spot. Nobody really explains. It's just kind of like, I don't like this guy because of this. So I'm asking the question, like, what are we basing this information? So say, for example, so Tony, if I say you're Vince McMahon, and you've done professional wrestling for 50 plus years,
right?
And you see a talent that that you kind of relate back to the talents when you were coming up, and your dad and all this other stuff. You're trying to get him over, and you say this guy is it, and then you invest time, money, and effort into this guy. What makes you feel like, oh, is it right for a guy to come off the street and just be like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, even though you've made $1 billion doing this and you've been doing this for 50 plus years? You don't know what you're talking about.
All right, let me tell you why it makes sense for a person like me to be able to tell Vince McMahon what he's doing. It's because I didn't just... Well, Vince McMahon has been doing this professionally for 50 years. But I've been watching it for 25. I've seen not only what he's done, but I've seen what others have done. and I've seen uh, other examples of it. So you put it all together. Put it all together. It is somewhat of an education. It's not the same level, but there's a way to link what you know about something and and your own experience together to make something else. Because I mean, I've been to college, you've been to college, we understand business to a degree. So so if we both understand business to a degree, there's no reason why that knowledge can't transfer over to wrestling, especially what you know about that.
I'll put it to you like this. Like I'll just go ahead and say it. So let's just go ahead and cut the fable. Let's get right to the shit.
Okay.
So Roman Reigns. Everybody wants to pump Roman Reigns. WWE wants to invest in Roman Reigns. You motherfuckers don't like Roman Reigns. I need you to explain to me why you don't like Roman Reigns. I understand that you feel that he's not ready to ascend to Mount Olympus.
All right,
And
stop. That's exactly where you need to stop. He's not ready to be there. Where he's talking about where the company wants him to be is not where he should be. Where he should be, he should have gone through NXT just like everybody else. He should have gone through NXT like Finn Balor. He should have gone through NXT like Bailey. Any of these other people who are super ready to come out here and do work like that, they really put the time in. They really built their characters up. And even though Finn Balor didn't even need to do that, but he still did it. You see, if he would have done that, then people wouldn't be as averse to him being as over as he is. Because where Roman is right now, he started at the top. Even though he wasn't the world heavyweight champion, he started with the Shield, and them being on prominent, having a prominent spot on Raw, all the way up, until they broke it up. And really, when you look at Roman, as far as his in ring ability, he's not too far away from someone who's like uh, a new guy in NXT. I think his skills are comparable to that of Apollo Crews.
I look at it like this. Sometimes I just be like, man, fuck that shit. Like it's like this. It's like sometimes it's like I pay attention to these internet shows. I feel like I am a wrestling aficionado, right? As far as a person who's not being paid by any wrestling promotion, I feel like I'm a wrestling aficionado. So I do my research by paying attention to these blogs and hearing what people say. And I'm starting to notice a little trend. It's like people who out there seem to be informed or say they're informed, they'll sit there and say, hey, I don't like this. Why don't you like this? Okay, I don't like this because, and then we're going to use Roman Reigns as an example. I don't like this because Roman Reigns doesn't look good. Okay, how does he not look good? He's a big guy. He's a good looking guy. He looks cool. He looks like an action figure in there. Looks cool. Doesn't really have a whole lot of mic skill, which is okay. Hulk Hogan didn't have a whole lot of mic skill when he first started. That's fine. I think the reason is, and this is what everybody sees, and nobody wants to comment on it. They don't like him because the company's pushing him. And it's the exact same thing where with John Cena. We're not too far away from the John Cena era where it's obvious that the company, everybody's smart, so everybody's educated to how wrestling works. They pick a particular person, they say, we're going to pump money and we're going to put merchandising and marketing and branding, and we're going to put the company on the back of this particular guy, and he's going to be the guy we push forward because he has a look, crowd likes him, he's going to sell tickets. So they put the weight on this guy and they push him. They wanted that to be Roman. Everybody knows that they wanted it to be Roman, but they felt like for whatever reason Roman isn't ready. They say that, he can't talk. His skill set at the time was limited, blah, blah, blah. So then they're letting him know about it. My thing is this, and this is what this whole question was based off of, is that Roman's fault that that happened. It's not Roman's fault. It's just like it's not Roman's fault that if they tell him to go out there and wrestle Rusev, he's going to go out there and wrestle Rusev. Like, he has no control over, look, you're going to win the championship 3 times in the next year and a half. He has no control over that. You're going to go on the so-and-so talk show. You're going to be in Conan 2 undercarriage. I don't know what you would call it, but he's not in control of whatever the fuck they tell him to do.
He's not in control of that. You're right. And it really isn't his fault. But you know whose fault it is? is McMahon and anybody else who booked John Cena to begin with. Because when people look at Roman Reigns, they see a guy who isn't ready, but he's getting pushed into this spot that John Cena was in, and John Cena kept for 10 years, where he and Randy Orton kept trading back the belt back and forth. Because there's no reason in the world that Randy Orton should have been a 12-time World Heavyweight Champion, or Edge be a 10-time champion, or John Cena to be 15 times a World Heavyweight Champion. It took Flair 40 years to get to 16.
But you like.
I do like Orton, but there's no reason that you should just like.
Who else were they gonna give the belt to during that time?
That's why you need to figure out how to write better. You don't need to revolve everything around the World Heavyweight title, even though that is the most important thing in the WWE universe.
See, Vince, around that time, I would have been like 22 years old. You could have called me, and I could have came. See how good this belt looks around my waist, and then not only on top of that, see how well I dance with the belt.
Speaking of that belt, there's no reason that John Bradshaw Layfield should have had the World Heavyweight Championship for what is it, a year and a half. It makes no sense for him to have that.
I feel like the fact that Bradshaw was like a singles champion at the time lets you know that the roster was very deep.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I can sit there and say that all day like I'm talking shit, but I mean,
you have a better body now than Bradshaw did, and he's a professional wrestler. Not to say that you're not.
Bradshaw's built like a stepfather. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. I don't really know how anybody's gonna take it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say that, and then try to see what else. Now, if you laughed on the other side of the camera, then good for you, because I found that funny. That's why I said the shit. If you didn't laugh, then shit, I'm gonna try harder. Fuck it. But to me, at the end of the day, I feel like sometimes you fucking marks, are actually too fucking smart, and you're trying to overanalyze shit. Everybody's not gonna say the shit that you want them to say. The script isn't always gonna be written the way you want it to be written. But reminisce and go back to when you were 5 and 6 years old. Fucking sit down and watch it, and just watch it. Just appreciate it for what it is. And then if it gets too fucking out of control, then do it. But don't nitpick every single thing. And then poor little Roman Reigns. First of all, this is how I feel about Roman Reigns. I'm not even the hugest Roman Reigns fan. But I am a fan of logical explanations of why things are the way they are. And I feel the fact that if Roman Reigns is being pushed into these roles, the fact that you're booing Roman Reigns doesn't necessarily make sense. You should be booing McMahon. You should be flooding McMahon's Twitter with, why the fuck are you promoting Roman Reigns? You should be hitting up Stephanie, Triple H. Why are you pushing this guy? Roman Reigns is just the byproduct of it. Or he's just the guy who's being told what to do. Like, I don't understand why Roman sucks when he doesn't suck. He got with AJ Styles. They had a tremendous outing, him and AJ Styles. The match with him and Brock Lesnar, that was better than Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, the guy whose dick just so had to suck this for the last 6 months. I mean, am I wrong there? Did Roman Reigns have a better WrestleMania match with Brock Lesnar than Dean Ambrose?
Yeah, he did.
But then Dean Ambrose is the champion, and you love Dean Ambrose. Not you per se, but you fucking smart ass marks. Let me ask you a question. Since we're talking about Dean Ambrose, let me ask you the question, you fucking marks. Like, why do you like Dean Ambrose more than you like Roman Reigns? Please explain it to me.
There's nothing really to like about Dean Ambrose.
I should dance in your face right now.
If you can go back and watch the WWE Network, and then you can see Raven matches, you can see Dallas Page matches, you can see Stone Cold Steve Austin matches, and you're going to say to me, after seeing all those three things, that Dean Ambrose is a guy that you really want to watch on TV. I don't really think you're being honest with yourself. I think he's benefiting off of a couple of things that got thrown in his way, and the way he got marketed, the way he got positioned. He got kind of over with the Shield thing,
yeah.
But ultimately that's not really working for him, because we've already seen it's not the best angle for him.
See, and then why did I bring up Dean Ambrose? It all ties into what I was saying about you marks earlier. You love Dean Ambrose. Why do you love Dean Ambrose? Well, because Dean Ambrose is awesome. Dean Ambrose put the work in. Dean Ambrose he went through the indies and he earned his spot. But you're not really telling me why you like him. What in the ring that he does is interesting. Does he build a good story? Does he have good ring psychology? Is he great on the mic? Is he a Rock? Is he a Stone Cold? Is he to a much lesser extent, a Triple H on the mic? No. So basically, he sucks in the ring. He's not very good.
Let's be honest.
He's not very good in the ring. I'm not gonna sit here and say he sucks. He's not just tremendous. He's not the best thing I've ever seen in the ring. He's not the best I've ever seen in the ring. He's okay on the mic. His gimmick isn't really something that I would buy a ticket to see, to be honest with you. But yeah, you guys love that guy. This is what I'm talking about, the inconsistency. You don't like this guy because he's pretty. Let's be even more frank. You don't like him because he's pretty. You don't like it because guys like that probably get, in your eyes, they get things handed to them their entire life. They bang all the chicks. They get all the attention. They get all the accolades. They always get chosen in the social hierarchy of everything. They're always going to be above you, and they're going to get handed things in life for whatever reason. Oh, he's a part of the Samoan family, and oh, he's a good-looking guy. I mean, I'm sorry, right. That's how you sell shit.
But you just explained why he would be one of the greatest heels ever. Like he fits that mold exactly. So if he's not working as a fan favorite, if he's not working as a face, just make him a heel. He's set up to be a heel to begin with. He should have just walked in there and just been like, "This is my birthright. I'm supposed to be here. I don't have to put in the work because I'm Roman Reigns. Because my father is this guy. Because all this my cousins are Rock. Because I'm related to this person. You will cheer me, and even if you don't, I'll still win because I'm Roman Reigns." That's what his gimmick should have been at the beginning. But now everyone sees that's what his gimmick is, even without him saying it. See, because the fact of the matter is, the Roman Reigns never changed his gimmick ever since the Shield ended. He still wears the same clothes. He's still got the same music.
Hey Roman, for real, seriously, dude, it's like I'm pulling for you, man, with that vest bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm just. I don't know if you're trying to hide. If you got you may got the Samoan. Y'all got that shit going on. I'm not trying to be racist, but y'all got that.
But just hang out with Jimmy. Apparently, Jimmy got it all tightened up, didn't he?
See, but the funny thing is, you could be Samoan in shape and still got that shit. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make it seem like I have the best body per se, but them Samoans, they be having it's the mayonnaise, the shit be getting right here and just it's like a fucking traffic jam, just sitting. I don't know. Maybe Roman got that shit going on. I really don't know. I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? Joe, hey, I'm pulling for you, man. I feel like Roman Reigns has a lot of potential. I feel like he has a Goldberg-esque air to him where he's physical enough for you to believe that he's doing this shit. That's the thing with Goldberg. He's physically, when you see Goldberg, you're just like, dude, I can see him whooping somebody. Same thing with Roman. When I see Roman, I've seen Roman in person. He's legitimately 6'2.5", 6'3". He's legitimately stacked like that. He looks like he can fight. He looks like he would be this powerhouse Samoan that they try to build him up to be. It's just that the story, he has no story. He has no backstory. He has no theme behind his character. And unfortunately, he's starting to suffer for it. I feel like Roman could be a face, but he needs to be a face because he was such a good heel. You need to make him a heel, and you need to make him earn it. If he's a heel and he starts to get over, I would have made him a face early on, but a face that got nothing, a face that had to earn everything and to get to where he's at. But since you already done fucked it up, you need to just keep him right there and then turn him heel and then make him earn his face status. But you shouldn't be fucking. I almost said something that almost tipped off another subject. I'm gonna bring that up later. But anyway, so you fucking marks. This is my last thing I'm gonna say. You guys need to decide what you guys want. And you guys need to be meticulous about how you put your points. Because a lot of you motherfuckers are going online and you're not making sense. You're just saying, hey, he sucks. And then look, it's like this. Roman Reigns sucks. You're at your computer. Roman Reigns, he sucks. He's fucking Samoan. He's like black Asian or whatever. Fuck that guy. And then send. And then you go, he better not block That's what you're fucking doing.
You better not block me.
Get you guys. You guys suck. I don't fucking. You guys make me. I consider myself a mark. You guys make me ashamed to be a mark. After you make no fucking sense.
All right. So are you saying that because of the Roman thing that there's something wrong with the marks?
There's always something wrong with the marks. The marks is it's just like this. It's like the marks are customers. There's always something wrong with customers. They're whiny bitches. They want something different. Anybody that understands business knows this. Your customer is always going to want something, even if you give them everything. So, say for example, like Steve Jobs can create the fucking iPhone, which is pretty much technologically wise, it's like the fucking wheel, and he gives this to you, and you're like, yeah, but it needs to have this, even though you've never seen anything like this before. It's
Right.
clearly leaps and bounds of what you've had, but you look at it and you're just like, yeah, it's cool, it's good, I'll pay you for it, but it needs to have this, this, and this on it, and you're never gonna be satisfied.
Okay.
So my thing is, it's cool to have an opinion or constructive criticism, but the thing about constructive criticism is the constructive part. There needs to be an explanation, which is why we're doing this shit.
Well, let me ask you this now: Is that criticism warranted? Now, imagine if Steve Jobs gives us the iPhone, like he gives us the iPhone 1 and the iPhone 2, and those both are like progressions over the original one. And then he gets to the iPhone 3 and it looks exactly the same as the iPhone 2. It does the exact same thing. It's just a different color.
Yeah.
Now, don't you have a right to be upset about that?
Bitch, I mean, sure, you have a right to be upset. I don't want to say you have a right to be upset about it. You have a right to have complaints. There's a difference between being upset and having complaints.
Oh yeah,
complaints
right to have a complaint.
Yeah, you're You're just like, hey, I have a suggestion, this and this and this. They're not going, Steve Jobs, you fucking suck. I hope your daughter dies in a fucking car accident because the iPhone isn't how you want it to be. Like, to me, that's what they're doing. They're getting online and hitting Roman talking about, you're gay, you're this, you're that, you suck, Roman.
But you have to understand, like, partially, it's being, if you push out somebody, if you have a stage, right? You have a theater, and then you push out an act that people don't like. If someone throws tomatoes at the act, you know that you should change the act. So
I'm like, Roman, if you throw a tomato at me.
But I mean, like, that's pretty much what he is. Roman is an act in a circus, okay, right? That people don't like. So if they throw tomatoes at it, something should tell you that maybe I should retool this act. Right. It could work, but not necessarily right now.
All right. So this is what I'm gonna close this off at, and I'm glad that you said you brought up the acting. This is what I'm gonna say to you, sir. This should shut this shit off. You fucking marks, pay attention, because I'm talking directly to you. This analogy is for you. It's tailor fitted for your asshole. No homosexual. Sorry, shit. I have no problem.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Shout out to Darren Young. You're beautiful. It's just anyway. So what I say to you is this: I'm talking about acting and such. Is Jean-Claude Van Damme the same as Daniel Day-Lewis in terms of acting?
No.
But you've seen Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Yeah.
Would you say Jean-Claude Van Damme is good at what he does?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the same principle. Just because Roman Reigns cannot talk or whatever else doesn't mean he's bad. It just means there's certain things that he does that are less than other people do. So if you're saying that, well, I'm throwing tomatoes at this thing, it doesn't match up, because Roman Reigns isn't completely bad. It's just he doesn't talk, or you don't like his outfit. But that doesn't mean he can't do acting. Like, he can't wrestle, or he can't get in the ring and do anything. Like, it's just like, you're saying that, okay, well, he's not as good as Seth Rollins, so he fucking sucks. Well, Jean-Claude Van Damme is nowhere near as good as Daniel Day-Lewis, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, he sucks. They do two completely different things. Or they do things that Jean-Claude Van Damme does, things that Daniel Day-Lewis doesn't do that I can appreciate. Like, I feel like just because he doesn't do exactly what you want him to do doesn't mean he sucks necessarily.
All right. Well, this is going to be my final counterpoint to you. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Because if you take a movie, like the first version of the movie, is always, well, pretty much always the best one, the best version. Now, sequel number 3 or 4 that comes out on the Sci-Fi Channel is always gonna get compared to the first one. Now, you may have some elements of the first one in the fourth one, but by that time you've got like you may have started off with Jack Nicholson in the first one, but in the fourth one you've got like uh uh Stephen what's that guy, Stephen Baldwin or something in the fourth one.
Oh, say who? Stephen Baldwin. What?
Yeah, he's one of the Baldwin brothers. But the point is that the they tend to go down over time. And if you start off in the Attitude Era with guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, and then you could start walking down, you're over at Triple H, and now you're over at Edge, and now you're at John Cena, and now you're at Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns looks like a sequel to the John Cena that you really didn't like and had to deal with for 10 years. Now that's something you're going to have to deal with. And you know, and that starts with the people that you pick to hold the ball. Maybe they're not. Maybe the youngest guy and the guy who looks the best is not the guy that you need to have holding the ball. Maybe you need to have a veteran.
Well, the way I look at it, it's just if Edge got to me, if nobody said Edge sucked, I really don't see with Roman Reigns. I just don't. I don't I mean, the thing about it is the point I was trying to make. This motherfucking whiskey's kicking in. That and I realized midpoint that I was rambling, and I just said fuck it. I was committed to it, so I just said screw it and just went with it. But I had a good point for you fucking marks, and then I fucking forgot it because the fucking whiskey got to me. So you better be glad I was drinking this shit, otherwise I'd kick your ass. And then I'm probably gonna think about it later on, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, that's it. Pretty much. I think the point that I was trying to make. Say this one more time. The point I was trying to make was, you said that if you go to a play and the play sucks, you're gonna throw tomatoes at it or whatever. You need to change. I think the thing what I was trying to say was that if it sucks, like I don't necessarily see what he does outside of not talking the way you want him to talk. Suck. I feel like you're basically punishing him because you see behind the curtain and you don't like the magic trick. So this guy can't do this. I mean, Hulk Hogan couldn't wrestle. Hulk Hogan couldn't necessarily talk, but they took Hulk Hogan and they made him this thing. But because you couldn't see behind the curtain, like you worshipped Hulk Hogan until you got to the point where you were already entranced, and then it was too late. And then the NWO and all this other stuff. So anyway, I say that to say this. I understand. I understand the fact that you're upset with the way John Cena is being pushed. I mean, the way Roman Reigns is being pushed. You have to understand that that has nothing to do with Roman.
This doesn't impress
Reigns. And why the fuck do they like Dean Ambrose?
people. Do they?
Segway.